Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. It is me, once again, screaming into the void of the internet. I actually got a daytime video for once. It's been a freaking minute since I'm usually recording at night, but I haven't had a chance to get out here and talk because rain, hurricanes, all that good stuff. I digress. Negativity. You know, I was listening to this guy talk about how he hates social media because, like, when he's looking on social media, he's trying to find inspiration and art and stuff like that. And I'm going to talk about, like, what kind of art that this this good old fella likes and stuff like that. And he said that it's overwhelming for him to be on social media because all he sees is, like, negativity, and it makes him mad that he sees this. And I'm like, you know, I think it's very amusing that people have this viewpoint, and it shouldn't come as a surprise that these are the same people that will just say that you're hating, you know, when you offer criticism. Because this kind of guy, right, he's essentially like 30 years old, from what he said, and he's over here still being angry that someone has a negative viewpoint on things, you know. And I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a positive or negative viewpoint. It's just their viewpoint, you know. If you view certain things in a ill light, that doesn't mean that you want them, good old planes going overhead. It doesn't mean that you want them like destroyed or something. You just usually, as far as I'm concerned, want them to be better, right? Now, better for different people means different things, you know. Like for woke-tards, that means like all the tick boxes needs to get checked off, you know. Need to have a certain amount of trans testicles and fugoats and lesbians, all that bull crap, right? And maybe for other people, that might just mean, like, you know, better plot and good stories and stuff like that. Or maybe they want to see more skinny, skimpy outfits, you know, just like I think Korea devs said that they don't want to see, like, nibbas, and they only want to see, like, chicks with big tits, which is good and bad, because if that's what you think a good game is, then I hate to break it to you, but that ain't it, chief. Sure, you can have, like, some chick that looks visually attractive, but your game can still be dog crap, so, you know. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and get back to this fella, because it's like he's partially the inspiration to this video, because I need to talk about, I'm using him as, like, you know, a starting point, as I will eventually segue off into other things. Now, like I mentioned, that this fella, he's essentially like 30 plus years old, but he's still having like freaking problems understanding that his view is not the only view in the world. You know what I mean? Because he's an artist, so-called artist, but his art quality is mediocre. Like, it's some crap that you would find on early days YouTube and Newgrounds. And speaking of Newgrounds, it's actually where he's uploading a lot, and I'm sure you can understand where I'm going with this if you're familiar with Newgrounds. It's essentially just smut. You know, whether you want to call it hentai, not so work-friendly, all that bullcrap, that's essentially what he's making. But it's bad quality work. And he's essentially saying that he looks for, like, inspiration on social media for, like, his stuff, because I'm like, well, listen, buddy, realistic, and, you know, I did, like, kind of tell him a little bit. I was like, listen, dude, the only reason why someone would even consider your art is because it's got porn in it. Like, it's not something that you're gonna look at and go, wow, this guy's talented. Because listen, you don't need to make anything like super high quality or anything, but like, you could literally just do pencil shadings, and if you're skilled, like, people will, like, you know, give you talent. But when you're literally looking like you're drawing in Microsoft Paint, and you're complaining that someone's calling you out on, like, you know, low quality, and you're saying, oh, it's negativity, I can't stand this. I hate to break it to you, but again, this is why a lot of things in America, like entertainment-wise and stuff like that, this is why it's bad. This is the kind of person you got. Sure, this guy isn't like a wokey. Sure, he's not, like, you know, asking there to be a trans testicle and all this bullcrap, right? But he's still of the opinion that you're not supposed to criticize his work. And that's not how that works. Because I could come clean for a minute, right? I've been watching a show, not because I actually like it, but because I just want to see how bad they're going to F it up. And so far, they've really been effing that show up. I am a fan of Dungeons and Dragons. You know, I'm a fan. I haven't really like played the game very much, but I am a fan of it. I like the universe. I like things about it, right? And I hate that D&D has now become this like infamous thing where it's like all these games, all these media is associated with D&D. It's just like this smut garbage. It's like, it doesn't seem like there's good stories attempting to be told anymore. It just seems like there's just this, like when it comes down to American entertainment, there's just this like overemphasis on sex as well as unnecessary like filler comedy. You know what I mean? Like it's just like the most out of place stuff. You can see it in movies, you can see it in TV. Like the show that I'm talking about, right? It's called The Legends of Vox Machina or something like that, right? And it just ticks all the boxes of an American show. So, you know, you gotta have your lesbians, your trans testicles, your fagots, your bisexuals, all that bullcrap. And just looking at, like, the plot and how it's, like, evolved, especially, like, in the most recent season and stuff like that, the sheer amounts of, like, overemphasis on romance is hilarious. Because I'm like, I don't think that these cocksuckers comprehend how a group operates. If people in the group are too busy trying to hook up with one another, they're going to start forming bonds with those people to the extent that they're going to prioritize them over the well-being of the group. You have to understand that for a group to work, it can't really have too many people hooking up, because what will happen is the moment that sucker gets injured and stuff falls apart. Let's say that they just go unconscious, right? This person's going to have a panic attack and try and get to their good old betrothed, McQueen, McKing, whatever they are, especially in these day and age, right? They're going to try and prioritize that. And so the group's strength could fall apart. And you can see that even now in, like, say, the military, right? If you guys are familiar with, like, these barracks bunnies and stuff like that, you guys understand, like, now that, like, you know, you can have chicks in the military, that there are freaking people just sucking their way up the platoons, ranks, and all kinds of crap. And you better believe that you are still ordered to help these cunts. Like, they get to pass and go in, even though they couldn't take the same test as you, even though they can't carry the same weight as you. But if they are struggling and need help, you're supposed to help them. You're like, no, that's not going to work. Like, if we're in a battlefield setting, and yes, there are chicks that have seen combat, I get that. But if you're in a battlefield setting, and stuff like that, these guys are going to just start simping for the chicks. Like, this is why you're not supposed to mix the two when it comes down to, like, military stuff. You just can't. Guys can't help it. They can't help it. And the chicks know that, and they're hardwired to take advantage of that. So, yeah. The point that I went on right there is the media that I was talking about right there. If you talk trash about that, they're going to be like, oh, you're just so quick to say something's woke, you can't handle that you see trans testicles and stuff like that. I'm like, no, it's just, you're focusing on something that really ought not be focusing on, you know, while there is an important task at hand. Usually the way that stories used to work is, like, if there was hints at the romance, there would be, like, little sections of it, but it was at the end that you got together. You know, after the task is done, after you're done adventuring, or if you still want to adventure, you just go with them instead of putting the whole group's arse on the line. You know, that's what happened. But you're in the day and age now where people want to hide behind, you know, like, their beliefs and say, oh, you can't criticize this, or, you know, you're a bigot or something, which I think we should just start, you know, mimicking the Fagots group and wear it with pride, as they say, right? Good old Pride Month. Wear it with pride, because, listen, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, excuse me. Stop lying. I'm not sorry that you can't write. I'm not sorry to let you know that your writing is garbage, your art is garbage. You know, I'm not sorry to let you know that you are literally so influenced by freaking Japan that instead of you attempting to actually make your own work, you are literally just using this AI garbage to just try and draw in a similar manner as, like, anime and crap like that. I miss the days where people were willing to be creative and actually make their own art. You know, there was a signature art style that you would see in some of these shows. Like, if you go back and look at, like, early days Pokemon, not this crap now. I don't like the new Pokemon, like, in terms of the art, right? I don't follow its anime or anything. I don't care about it. If you look at Pokemon now, right, you can see I want to say, like, the evolution to, like, just the standard anime nonsense art style that you look at it now. But when you looked at it early on, you know, you could tell that was Pokemon. You could tell that was Pokemon early on. Even, like, not necessarily, like, just the first, you know, one or something like that. Just, you know, several seasons, and you could tell that was Pokemon. That was the art style that Pokemon had. Details got better and stuff like that, but it still had its own art style. Dragon Ball Z has its own art style. You look at shows like Ben 10, Samurai Jack, like these kinds, so you can tell that they have their own art style. There's the artist's signature, and now that's being lost. Everyone's just trying to mimic, and they're trying to, like, you know, again, check off the boxes. And this is why I feel like America just can't really make good entertainment anymore, because before they even get the story out there, before they even design the characters, they need to say, oh, are they a full goat, lesbian? Oh, let's make sure it looks like, you know, anime. Like, there's no emphasis on really trying to create your own stuff anymore. And that's a shame. It really is. It's really a shame that creative expression has just divulged into this just degenerate garbage where no one can really tell a good story, or they're just trying to just write a freaking romance flick, like some kind of fanfic garbage. It sucks. And then when you do try and talk about it, they just try and hide behind, oh, you're being negative, you're being a hater. Meanwhile, if you had something that they don't like, then they comment something negative, and then they say, oh no, that's different. You know, the good old "it's different" argument, right? I'm really just making this not because it's like something that was really bothering me. It's just amusing to me that this is the mindset that even a person who isn't really, like, you know, woke, you know, per se, they have the same mindset. You know, you can't criticize this, that, and the other. Oh, I don't like looking at negativity. Because listen, I've always had the mentality that I've never really cared. It just is what it is. I've always been this way about things for the most of my life. I just don't care. People would not piss in your mouth if your tongue was on fire. Why should you really care about what they think? Unless they're offering valid, constructive criticism. If they're just, like, randomly hating, it is what it is. They're not obligated to like you. You're not obligated to like people. There are people that you see that you don't want to give the time of the day. Whether you want to admit it or not, you do judge them. If you see them, if you smell them, you know, you judge them. You judge them based on that. If you went to school and there was this person that was just smelling vile, okay, I'm not talking like just a little musky like he came from PE. I'm talking they just smell vile, like they do not shower but once every, like, freaking month or something. You're probably going to be like, yeah, I don't know if I really want to be near to this person. I don't know about that. You know? It is what it is. They might be a, air quotes, nice person, but you ain't going to want to be around them if they stink. People have the gall to say this stuff behind the keyboard, but they can't say it with their mouth. They can't say it from their heart and stuff like that. I've always been the type to just be upfront, you know, like, I'm pretty reserved, but if I am forced to speak, I'm just going to be upfront. I'm not going to freaking lie to you. I'm not going to try and just tell you something to make you feel good. I'm just going to be honest. You know? You can't go around thinking that everyone's going to be nice and everyone has to be nice, because everyone's not you. And that's fine, because if everyone was one kind of way, then you wouldn't have variety, you know? I wouldn't be able to look at folklore from different places, and certain things that I like monster design, wouldn't be here if people didn't have reference from different cultures and stuff like that. It's a goddamn shame that people are so freaking pussified to the point that you can't criticize them on anything. Or they're gonna have like a freaking mental breakdown over, oh, he's not being nice. When you didn't necessarily say anything mean, you just said, hey, listen, you might want to touch this up better. You know? Here's what it is. It's a shame, especially considering that this person considers themselves an artist, even though, you know, they're a freaking smut artist. Not a good one at that. It literally looks like it's freaking Newgrounds levels of quality. Hopefully he can improve, but Considering that this is the mindset that he has as a 30-year-old, I don't know. I don't know. He might be too set in his ways. I hope not, though. I hope not. But I'm going to go ahead and pretty much end it there. I didn't really have too much to talk about, other than that. I'm still trying to get this stupid, before I cut this off, still trying to get this stupid, what is it? These medical records. You would not believe how hard this is. Like, it's funny. If a cop was looking for me, they could just dig through my medical records and all kinds of stuff instantly, right? But if I wanted that information, if I want that information, considering that it's, in relation to me trying to get the job, you got to do this, you got to have this doctor, they need to reference you, we need to release a form. Yeah, I love it. It's hilarious, but I'm not going to go on and rant about that. Hope you guys enjoyed. God bless. I'll see you next time.